Hey everyone, in this video we're going to go over a simple, easy meal that requires just realistically 2 ingredients. In this case, oats overnight and either water or milk. Obviously, if you don't drink milk, you can probably use the substitutes like almond, coconut, oat milk, just to, more or less get what it is that you're looking for in terms of your oats. So I would say oats overnight is really good. Their whole idea with this right here is to not have to use a spoon. So you should just be able to shake it, throw it in the fridge overnight, first thing in the morning, open it, drink it, get your calories in for the day. I was able to find these at Walmart. I'll put it in the video description down below. These are the only 2 flavors that they had. Obviously, you can go through their website, which I will also link in the video description below, oatsovernight.com. So I was able to get caramel macchiato and apples and cinnamon. Now, what I will say, just very briefly, is that the oats are already pretty ground up just for the purpose of having it ready to go, because they say it can take about 4 hours to, until you can drink it. So essentially, if I were to have it right now or make it right now, I can have it right around midnight because it's about 7:30 or so. And I thought this would be an appropriate time to record this, so that way I can record it again in the morning, me consuming it, giving it more of a review. And I'm not sponsored in any way, so I want to just more or less give a very unbiased opinion on how I feel about it, what I was able to take away from it. And in terms of the nutrition, there's something that I would always suggest you doing, is just making sure that you're also always looking at the nutrition label. For the apples and cinnamon, it's 240 calories. The caramel macchiato, it's 230 calories. So not that necessarily you need to not have the apple cinnamon version, but just make sure that you're consuming the calories that you need for your day. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna make this real simple. I'm just gonna go grab some milk.
He needs some milk.
Again, you can also just grab water if you want, but I like using milk just because with milk you can get away with adding a little extra and it won't, deter from the flavor profile of what it is that you're consuming. Whereas with water, you have to be almost a chemist with it and be exact. The nice thing with the bottles is it actually tells you how high or how much to fill with the liquid, and that's also with all the dry ingredients involved. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just use the caramel macchiato, open it right up. I'm just going to fill. And again, like I said, I can get away with it just a little bit because I'm using milk. So it's gonna, it's not gonna make the profile of how it tastes any different as opposed to water. Now, the one thing I will say is that with a lot of this being, a lot of the dry ingredients being at the bottom, you really want to shake it. Make sure that when you are shaking it, for example, you can see that the dry ingredients is completely gone. So right now, it's still at the bottom. It's just still sitting there. So what we want to do is give it a nice little shake. I'm sure John Taffer would be really excited that, I'm making sure that everything's really just mixed in. So again, still just a little bit of the dry mix in there, still being a little stubborn. Perfect. So now, as you can see, if you look at the bottom of this right here, you're essentially getting everything in there. There's not much of anything, in terms of dry ingredients anymore. Everything looks like it's pretty much been evenly soaked with the fluid. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna fill this up just a little bit more, because now that I've mixed everything, it actually is sitting a little bit below the level that it's suggesting for me. And obviously with it, you know, shaking it, you're gonna froth it up a little bit, so you're gonna get a lot of air bubbles. I wanna get as much of it as I possibly can. I'll just give it one last shake just to, you know, get the new milk in there. Perfect. So what I can do here now is just take this, throw it in the fridge. Simple as that, everybody. So it literally took me maybe 2 to 3 minutes just to get everything properly shaken in the bottle, fill everything, you know, get everything prepped. So again, a really nice, simple, easy meal that requires little to no effort. Moving into the next day, I now have both of these ready to go. What they suggest is when you put the milk in or water in, you have about 36 hours to consume it. So just make sure that you are not just letting it sit around for, you know, a day and a half or more, just because then you can't really use it. It'll probably stink if you've ever used normal protein shakes and just let it sit for longer than they should. So I'm gonna just take a quick sip of this, give a quick review, and then do the exact same thing with the caramel macchiato and give a quick review, and then just give some final closing statements with all of that. Another great use of Oats Over Night is going to be when you don't have time to sit down and have breakfast, have pancakes, eggs, bacon, or, you know, cereal. You have to be on the go. Everyone wants to sleep in and wants to, you know, snooze as many times as they possibly can. So the goal here is more or less just creating simplicity. I just picked this up from the fridge. I set it up last night and just drove off to the gym to go coach clients. So this creates simplicity in what I do. I had it in my car while I was driving. I could also be having my breakfast and be charged up for the day, level up, and just get going. So the apples actually taste really fresh, honestly. They're probably, you know, they're dried out, so as soon as you put some sort of liquid into a container, they rehydrate and they taste just like a normal apple. Again, a lot of this is already ground up, so it's finely ground. So I was just trying to get, you know, chewing at it just to see if I had to really break it down further, like I would a normal, let's say like instant oat or steel cut oat. And I would say I don't really have to if I don't want to. Obviously, if you want that, you know, chewing functionality, by all means go ahead and do that. But I guess if I were to say rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably say somewhere between a 9.5. There wasn't anything out of the ordinary compared to, again, like an instant oatmeal, like a Quaker, you know, apple cinnamon instant oatmeal. So I would say it was pretty damn good. Now I'm gonna try the caramel macchiato. Smells pretty nice, at least. So this time around, I didn't really chew. It was easy. Again, their whole thing is you don't need a spoon to consume their products. You should just be able to put in a protein, like a blender bottle, and, you know, shake it, drink it, or in their more or less ready to go, or ready to drink mixes. So this was pretty damn good. Again, tastes just like a macchiato would. Very high coffee flavors. And so honestly, I would probably give this almost about the same, probably a little bit higher, just because I do like coffee flavored things. I'm not sponsored by Oats Over Night. This is just something I wanted to try just because I know, especially in the gaming community, they do have sponsorships with a few teams. So I just wanted to try this for myself so that way I could give a really good unbiased review. If you really like the content that I just created here, please give this a thumbs up. Put in the comments down below flavors that you've already tried if you've already done Oats Over Night. This is a great start to your morning right here. I can just take this, especially when I'm coaching clients and waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. I can take this and just run off and have breakfast without having to cook anything or heat up anything. I can have this cold. I'm sure you can also microwave this for about a minute and be good to go and eat it hot. But again, the whole point is to not use a spoon or any utensils. Just wash this out, toss it, call it a day. So, as always, everybody, stay healthy and game on.